Hello, everyone. You have tuned in to the Past Journey and the Present Progression podcast. I am your host, Cleasy B, and today we have our guest, Phillip of Royalty Rainz Entertainment, and he's going to be here today informing you guys a little bit about him and himself and what he got going on. I'm going to let him talk to y'all.
Well, honestly, Cleasy, it's an honor to be on the show. First of all, glad to see this is going on. So, Royalty Rainz Entertainment, I got a lot of things going on, clothing, I got a lot of other businesses and people that I'm affiliated with, coming up. Like, me and you go back, got what you got going on. We integrate and working together behind the scenes, and that's kind of what I do. I'm one of those guys that I'm an engine. People come to me with their drive and their ambition. I'm powered up. I help make that happen, So that's the entertainment aspect of it. We got models that you could hire to be at your parties and things like that. But
okay, yeah, man. Well,
there's a lot of things going on.
I'm gonna say I'm honored to have you here. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we do go back, bro.
Right.
We got a little history. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to see each other trying to take our life to the next plateau, whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm honored to have you here, bro. Thanks for coming. So yeah, you just named off all the stuff you got going on, man. I wanna take it back a little bit and bring everybody up to speed, like step by step, to how you became the person you became and things of that nature and where you're headed to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So first, just tell us a little bit of who you are. A little bit about yourself as a person.
Okay, well, I got a million aliases and names and things like that people call me, but I go by Phillip Eugene House Jr. I give my full name, named after my father gave me the name, and he also instilled in me pride and to keep a certain presentation in how I present myself and carry myself, you know what I'm saying? So that carries out a lot into my actions, and I'm an ambitious person, I don't compete with other people. I don't know another man that I'm looking at because I know everybody is an individual. I compete with myself. I'm trying to be better than I am. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be the max myself. So that's just kind of what keeps me driving. So I always tell people, like, I can't have nothing that's not mine,
Yeah.
So if it's mine, I'm coming for it. If it looks like it's mine, I want it. You know what I'm saying?
For
so
sure.
I keep that in mind. But overall, I think that you should have a certain amount of drive and pride about yourself and the people around you, because I do it for people around me, man. It's the love that I got for my family and the people around me that keeps me having to present myself or do something. Because if you a low scoundrel or something and you dirt in the name, that's your family name, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you gotta have some pride in that. A lot of people don't,
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, man. And I heard you speak on family, and then I heard you say, your dad gave you the name. So I'm assuming you're Phillip II or something.
Right, Phillip Jr.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So where are you from initially?
I moved out here. Man, I tell people that when people ask me this is like I tell people I'm from everywhere, because I used to move around a lot when I was young. I spent some time as a child I was born in Colorado. Spent some time when I was young. I remember staying in Jersey. I stayed out in Colorado. I stayed in Washington, and I had family in all three of those cities. So growing up, I spent a lot of time in those three cities, moving back and forth. Oh. So that's kind of like I got childhood friends from the same year in three different cities.
Right.
So I was living a lot when I was young. I had a lot of little random experiences. So that all just added up into the ball.
Yeah, I was gonna speak on it. Like you said, you lived in all of those different places. I would assume they come with like a lot of different experiences, like that could be used to your advantage.
When I was staying out on the East Coast, it was like everybody was. You stick to what you know, and you don't be thinking outside the box. Everybody was just only like me and you gotta have the skin to win. To be around here. You know what I'm saying? I came out to Washington, it was a melting pot. Everybody's with everybody doing things. I got Asian brothers now, you know, I'm like, this is my dude, you know what I mean? And it's just things like that you never experience if you stay in the same area.
Right, yeah.
So I'm a big fan of stepping outside of your box and getting outside of your comfort zone.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man, because I definitely share that same mindset, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to.
So are you the only kid? Do you have siblings?
Oh no, not at all. I got a little brother, championship fighter. You know, fighting is runs in our family. He and I both trained for a while. Real proud of him. He's making moves. Name's Khalil.
Shout out Khalil.
Yep, shout out Khalil. He's really making moves, doing this thing. Little bro, I love you. I got 2 older sisters as well. 10 years older than me. 1 year apart. Birthdays on the same day. Mm-hmm. So they used to, like, they were twins, you know what I mean? Because they had the birthday same day, but they're a year apart, you know?
Yeah.
Letitia and Thaisa, shout out to them. I got nieces and nephews through my sister Thaisa that I love, you know, take care of the family. Like I said, it's all about the family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got the brand and things like that. And one of the things, if you go to the website, you see my nephew on there wearing the gear. You know, I make sure I got all the young boys gear. I make sure I take care of the family. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the type of cat I am. So anytime you're supporting me or anything I'm doing, realize that there's people behind me that I'm moving for. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm putting on for, you know, whoever. So if you supporting that, then you helping put on for them too.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Shout out to the family too.
Right,
man.
always representing.
Yeah, and you know, I heard you bring up your brand. Tell the people exactly what is Royalty Rainz.
Royalty Rainz is it's a group I put together, and it's funny because shout out Rashonda Stewart, because me and her actually kind of talked about this when I first made the brand, and I was just kind of making a group, and I was associated with everything I'm doing. Like there's a gaming portion of it, and I would be on the game, and everything that I put, I'd be like Royalty Rainz. So she and I started it. I was like, we're gonna call it Royalty Rainz, and I made her in the group and leading something on the games, and it was cool. And I do that with everything that I do. I was always branding things through Royalty Rainz, so I just kind of made it more official and started broadening the company into other aspects of my life and things that I'm doing. So
okay,
it worked out real good, you know. And really what it is like I say, it's an extension of my will and things that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. The type of person that I am, I call myself an engine, because I'm going to put power into something. So I do the same thing with the extension to my brand. You know, I know people associated with them. Like, okay, I'm gonna help them on the entertainment aspect. I might be behind the scenes. You know, there's things that I'm involved with that I don't never even worry about the taglines. You know what I mean? I might get a little cut off with the action going on, but more importantly, I'll be helping drive something, and we'll be building something together. So I'll be on the foundation of a lot of other companies and things, and not even have the full, everybody even knows what I'm doing. You know, that's why I maneuver like how I'm maneuvering. So Royalty Rainz is my brand, but it's also something that I'm using to help and assist other companies through entertainment, management, graphic design, websites, helping people with their social media portfolios. So you can get at me for a number of things. Like I said, it's not just me as well. There is other people that I work with that have drive, you know. Mm-hmm. So many ambitious people in the city. I never count anybody out.
Yeah, man.
You might meet somebody and they might be doing something. I don't care if you flip burgers. He might be the savant of burger flipping. You're like, how many burgers did he flip today? Jeez, he's on a roll. He's just got the motion down, you know. Yeah, right. That's your cook now. You want him as the cook.
Yeah,
you can't oversee nobody's value.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, you totally right. And yeah, I see on the you got the clothing line, right?
Right.
To the gaming. Graphic design, is it?
Yep.
Yeah,
an aspect of that as well.
You got a lot going on, man.
A lot going on, man. I'm real busy.
Yeah, and I'm inspired by it. You know what I mean?
Appreciate
Because
that.
I look at that type of stuff, and you know, we're young. You know, we're our color. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? However, we're just trying to change the narrative of what we know of everybody to think about us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So in that alone, I'm like, yeah, man. You know, I'm proud of you, man. You know
I
what I'm saying?
appreciate that. It's a difficult journey when you know there's so many odds against you. But I always tell people like I don't feel right if the odds ain't against me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shows comfortability. Shows comfortability.
Right. I don't feel right if it's too easy, you start getting iffy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know it's worth it if you got to fight and struggle to get it.
Yep, you're right. Nothing worth it comes easy, man.
Right.
It through my experience.
You start getting something that's easy, you got to second think it. You be like,
man.
that comes a long way.
Yeah, man.
Like, you know, let me double check this, see if this is what I really want. It's like, what is it? You never take the first offer or something like that. Like it's coming too easy. Like somebody wrote, I give you $100 for this. You sold, you know.
Yeah.
Like, they got you now. It was worth $500. You know.
That's usually how it
you
goes.
came too easy. You got to fight for it. You got to bargain. You got to put your price on it. You know, let them know what you want. You might not get it right away, but if you fight for it, it's gonna come.
Yeah. In our conditions, you know, in our situations, man, you know, some are so still less fortunate. They're likely to jump on that first section, right?
Yeah.
But you know, like I said, we're trying to change that trajectory and that narrative, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, getting back to your brand though, like what made you create your brand? What made you create, you know, make you want to just be like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to create something, create a legacy and build off of that. What made you create your brand?
Well, I always knew, you know, that I like I said, I'm ambitious, so I always knew that I would have something that I would create or something that would be, you know, something to build longevity in my name. You know what I'm saying? Something that I put my interest behind. They could be like, yo, Phillip did that, and he's a part of that, stuff like that. And then I involved myself in a lot of things, but it's funny, I was in school at the time. I was doing information technology. I was in school, and I had this computer in front of me all the time. And like, if you got a computer, listen, everybody watching, if you know how to operate and maneuver through the internet and programs and computers, you are a wizard. You are a modern technological wizard. It is a real skill, okay?
Yeah.
So you can do anything if you figure out how to piece all those things together. It's like magic. So I just started making magic. That's what I tell people now. I'm like a magician. Like I just tell people, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm making magic.
Yeah.
Because you might as well say that, because you could explain out everything that you're doing to somebody and they'll be like, okay. But then when you do it, they'll be like, man, wow. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, I just explained all the steps. They still don't get it. It's magic. You know? So I just say I'm making magic. So when I put this together, I was in class and people thought I was tripping. They're like, oh, are you sure you're going to be able to do your test? Like, I looked over here, you're building a full company. You know? They're like, and I had people like tripping. They were like, man, I'm not sure if like, because the program was like, I was in there getting money paid to be in the program and stuff, and there was some other stuff going on. And I was doing the program, and I was doing this on top of it. And they're like, well, maybe you need to focus more on this and that. And I'm like, well, I already got this going on, boom, boom. So I started the company, and next thing you know, I'm doing fashion shows in the city.
Oh, wow.
People know me. I got linked in with models, because I actually touched down in Colorado. Flew back out there a couple years ago, and when I got out there, I started modeling. I linked up with some people. Next thing you know, I'm doing photo shoots and stuff like that. I'm in a little small catalog somehow. One ended up in NYC, so I got a little rapport off of that. So I knew immediately. I was like, you know what? I'm already in the door in the fashion industry.
Right.
So I'm creating the brand. I'm gonna take it into clothing. So I started the clothing. And I built up all the websites. Like I said, I do the graphics, put all the logos together and everything, right?
Oh, you're hands-on.
Right, I'm hands-on. So I did everything, you know. that's what I say. Like I'm an engine. I put this together from the ground up, and then I brought people and integrated them into it. And I'm not one of those big me, little yous type of people. So if I bring you in on what I'm doing, I still encourage you to build yourself and do your moves and what you're doing. And I want to assist you too. I don't do your work, your royalty reign, stop all that other stuff. I want you to build your stuff up too. You know what I'm saying? Even if you represent my brand or anything like that, I'm gonna represent you as well. One hand washes the other.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be, bro. Like, cause that's the way everybody wins. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that, man. That's good. That's good. You share that. You have that mindset and you look at it from that perspective. You know what I mean?
Got to, man.
And you started it by yourself, right?
Right.
And you just build on. You added team members. You just build on.
Right.
You good now. Well, yeah, man. Hey, I'm just like I said. I'm just astounded, bro. Cause like I said, I know you, and I know you before you started Royalty Reign.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to see the process, and see the progress, I'm like, man, I'm proud of that guy. And I keep going back to that, and I'm honored to have you here, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. It's a real blessing, man.
Yeah, man. So for the people, we're gonna, if you can, detail to them the first initial 5 things you did to start your company. Like the first 5 things, like you had to do to start it, to get it going. Detail to the people step by step on what you had to do.
I would say, okay, I'm gonna mix in like personal preparation and literal preparation, because the first 5 steps to me starts way back. That's personal preparation, and then it, like, the first 10 steps you're in there, like, where you start literally doing stuff. Because before you're even hands-on with something, you have to really commit and really plan it out. A lot of people, they have an idea, and an idea is not going to come to life unless you turn that into a plan. I'll say that again. An idea is nothing unless you turn it into a plan. So when you have an idea, you have the first thing you do is you take that idea and you turn that into a plan. You're like, man, I got an idea. I can do this and do that and this and make this happen. Now it's a plan. So
I'm glad, not to cut you off, but I'm so glad you said that, because that is so important. Like, really have to plan. Like, you just can't come with no idea, man, and just throw it out there. You really have to plan,
and
man.
think, like, how's it gonna happen if you don't plan it?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's so important.
Because everybody's got ideas. So the first thing you do, you turn that idea into a plan. That's very important. And then the second thing is you have to turn that plan into something that's realistic. Because you're always going to have a plan that is like, I'm going to do this, and then you might have some other, this is what's going to be common. You're going to have other people involved in your plan.
Yep.
And then to make it realistic, you got to realize those people aren't, they're variables. They may or may not do this, may or not. They're going to change up the plan depending on what they're doing, because not everybody is going to be in perfect synchronity.
In your project.
You might, in your project, exactly. It's very rare that you walk in and you're like, guys, I got a building to build, and these are the blueprints. Let's build it. And everybody's like, I'll get right on it. I'll do the drywall and I'll do the bricks and blah, blah, blah. And then the building's built. No, you have to have money for that.
Yep.
So if you're talking about an idea that you made into a plan and you have no money to pay everybody for it, you can't expect everybody, I'll get the drywall, I'm going to build your building. Because they're like, man, what's this guy talking about? They're not, even if they believe it, they're like, okay, he's trying to get a building. Like, I guess I'll come down next weekend and throw like 3 bricks in. You know? They're not going to come down there serious and help you with this. So you have to make it realistic by cutting out certain people, certain parts. Like, okay, I was tripping. How did I have in the budget I was spending $20,000 here? You know, you're like, how this is obviously, I take that out of the plan and I got to get this from here and do this. So the first step would be turn your idea into a plan. The second step would be make that plan realistic by making it, simplifying it, seeing what's in your budget, seeing what you are actually capable of doing, and don't be scared to find somebody to help you. Even if you're on YouTube looking for guidance, if you're looking at some guy that you know, some old head or some dude that's your age, that's something that people can't do either. Like they're competing with their peers, so they're scared to ask them for advisory. You know?
Yeah.
So
You're
I
right.
don't rock like that. That's why I said I don't compete with people. I'm competing with myself. So if you can help me be better, then let's go. You know?
For sure.
So that's something you got to do, is make it realistic. You know what I'm saying? And then a third step would be you're making it happen. You're taking the first step of your plan. So 3 steps in is the first step of your plan that you created in step 1. Because to even be this far, you have to have your plan. So once you start initiating that, you just keep reiterating that. So 3 steps in, you already started. A lot of people, they would wait the whole steps or do all these things to start. But nothing is going to come from waiting.
At all.
Nothing's
Right.
going to come from waiting. So the 3rd step in, I would start it and then see how it goes. And then the 4th step, you go and reevaluate what the 3rd step came from.
Yeah.
Okay, is this working? Because when you do something, you have to start it and try it. It's called trial and error for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not trial and sell, trial and perfect.
Yeah.
Now things are perfect off of that.
Alright, y'all. We're back off break. We're back here with Phillip of Royalty Rainz. And he's going to finish telling you guys about what he had going on and what steps he took to get his business started. Continue on, my guy.
Right. So, first step was you get yourself an idea, you turn that into a plan. So, turn that idea into a plan. Second step was make that a realistic plan. So, you make that realistic. Third step was you make it happen. You execute the plan. 4th step, you reevaluate. So now that you've executed that plan, you see, was it fruitful? What do I need to change? What do I need to do this to make it more lucrative? 5th step, be consistent. Keep that up. Now you're into literal, okay, I need to have my LLC. I need to have my business up running. I need to have, my personal account separated from my business account. That's when you start getting into the real 5 things. So I won't touch that because the first personal 5 is the main things for me. But I'll tell you, so that's to me, that's what's the most important thing. Is you keep those 5 things in there. Everything is, to me, it's mental. Humans are beasts, and the only thing that separates us is mental.
You're right about that, bro. And that's totally true. And, like you said, that the first 5 things that you just named off, those are very important before you really start to do those other 5 things for real. Because that mental preparation, bro, that's a draining thing too, depending on who you are as a person, because it's not easy to get stuff started, bro.
It's not.
You know what I mean? Continue
It's
on,
really
though. I
not,
agree
man.
with you.
It's really not easy to get stuff started.
Yeah.
That's why it helps when you have positive reinforcement, which is, I think, hard nowadays because everybody's got this competitive mind state where they got to be the top dog and things like that. Nobody wants to be the bottom break. Everybody wants to be shining at the top of the tower,
Everybody want to be the king or the
right.
Yeah.
Everybody's a king. Nobody wants to be the peasant or whatever.
Yeah, the employee. They want to be the employer.
Everybody want to be the boss, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And it takes a solid team and things like that. And honestly, that's kind of what got me in my position and what I do, because I like to be in the front row. I like to model. I like to be the artist and things like that. But I realize it's more beneficial if I play this role. I can assist and make these things happen. So it took a lot of humbleness to step back and be like, okay, I'm gonna let this person I'm gonna help you shine. You know what I'm saying? Like I do that a lot, and with the Royalty Rainz Entertainment, I'm somebody that backs people, and I'm the engine. You get a car because it has a nice engine or it looks nice. 9 out of 10 is because it looks nice. Only certain people will really know about the engine.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I'm helping people to look nice.
That's crazy you put it that way, man. Man. So what direct projects are you working on right now? Because I know you got your hands on a lot of different things that we spoke on, you know what I mean? So what directly did you have your hands on right now that you're working on?
I'm glad you asked that. So I have Royalty Rainz Entertainment web series coming up. There's going to have a lot of local entertainers and artists and models that are going to be able to put themselves out there and present what they have to offer. So it's going to be very interesting. Aside from events and things like that I have coming up, that's going to be the next immediate thing that I'm putting out. So it's going to be a plethora of, entertainment. So it's real fascinating.
Man, that's cool, man. Man, because like you said, you got your hands on a lot of different things, man.
Right.
I know you get busy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Got to.
You stated you need your team, which is important. You know what I mean? And you still making progress within your company. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Now, is there a date to be expecting these projects, these things you got your hands on?
As far as the release date, right now it's to be announced, but to give a time frame, in the next couple weeks, we'll say the end of March, beginning of April. These things will start becoming released. There's also a new line of gear that's coming right now. So it's gonna be hot sweaters. We're doing premium gear. So it's gonna be a little more expensive, but the quality is gonna be a lot more better. You know what I'm saying? So you pay a little more to get a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, will this material be like? Will it all be Royalty Rainz branded, or you just got different type of stuff coming out?
Everything will be Royalty Rainz branded, fresh stuff. There are companies that, like sister companies that I work with, that I'm helping produce their gear as well. So you'll see some stuff will just have the Royalty Rainz label on it. You'll see the double R's on it, and that'll be something that is just a company we're associated with and helping produce their gear. I'm over at Paper Chasing Records helping the artists out there, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So get some of their branding, things like that. I'll help them sell their stuff through the site as well. So you can go to royaltyrainz.com and actually check out some of the services we offer, and the gear will all be up there, uploaded there, and available on the website royaltyrainz.com. So
yeah, you guys go to royaltyrainz.com, man, and get your merchandise from this man. He's putting in a lot of work, man.
That's right.
You'll be supporting a good cause if you support this guy right here. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
Stand up guy. So I got a couple last questions for you, because you're a busy man. I know you got things to do, man. And again, I'm honored to have you here, bro.
Appreciate
Give me the little time you have.
I got a little joke about that. I always tell people, if you see me somewhere, I'm late to be somewhere else. I got places to be.
Oh man, I can't wait till I get that busy. You know what I mean?
Man, it's good to stay busy.
But yeah, I heard you speak on Paper Chasing Records, man. I want to shout out them guys. That's family over there, man. Go check them out too, man. They got nice catalog of music. That they're good over there, man. Check out PC Paper Chasing Records, man.
Right, just like that.
Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff covered here, man. You told us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, some of the things you did to get your company started. You told us what you're working on right now. You told us when to be expecting this type of stuff. Okay. And ending though, I want to know, what is your overall goal? What are your overall vision for your company? Like, what do you see the overall of your company? The end game for your company. What you want that to be?
Prosperity, longevity, and connectivity. Something to bring people together, build wealth to pass on. Something that the brand and me, myself, my family can be proud of, that it's representing. You know what I mean? Something that I can use to assist people around me. Think about, like, if Boeing comes to your city, it's bringing millions of jobs. It's feeding to the economy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you can create a company or something like that, then you got power to generate funding to a whole area.
You're right.
By being there, and this is where my camp is building this. Whatever we're building or doing whatever we're doing, it's generating so much funds for the immediate areas. They want you there,
Yeah.
So just trying to build up something like that, something that's lucrative and gonna have longevity, pass on, something that's positive as well.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. That's a good end game, I would say.
Right.
I appreciate that, man. So, well, it's been a pleasure to have you here, man. And I know you're a busy man. I know you got to get going. So if you want to, man, just go ahead, give them all your social medias, and give them all the places they can see you, get your merchandise and all of that stuff, man.
Definitely. Pretty basic, royaltyrainz.com. You see it on my shirts, Rainz with the Z. Got to make sure that's right. You can Google it. You'll see a bunch of plugs. Royalty Rainz on Instagram, Royalty Rainz on Facebook. All spelled the same. Check it out. I got a show that I'm putting out with Urban Solution Radio. Make sure you check them out. I got artists that I'm representing over at Paper Chasing Records. Make sure you check them out. Shout out to Young Rock and Gator. They're coming out with some heat. So, they're going to turn up. Couple artists I'm working with, so you can see me over there, royaltyrainz.com. Check that out. Royalty Rainz on any other form of social media is available as well. Check out Royalty Rainz Entertainment on YouTube. Follow along when the show drops. It's going to be aired there. So got a lot of things. Royalty Rainz Gaming on Twitch. Check that out. We got some gamers putting out some streaming content. It's real cool. So if you're into games and playing, then check that out. The Call of Duty scores are crazy, and there's beautiful women putting up these scores that you wouldn't believe. So if you're into that, I got the avenue. Let's just stay in touch, man. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, too.
Man, appreciate you for coming, man.
Of course.
And so, you guys, we're wrapping it up. This has been the first episode of The Past Journey, the Present Progression Podcast. You know what I'm saying? You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, all YouTube. You can find me, man, The Past Journey and Present Progression Podcast. And sooner or later, in the near future, you can find me on all other digital platforms too. So, with that being said, Cleezy B signing out.
Yeah. And it's the past journey to present progression. Yeah. And it's the past journey to present progression.